And then I logged in as well.
Okay. It's always a minute delayed, so whatever you see from me should be about a minute behind. Same thing as last week. We'll I'll send you guys tonight. I'll send you guys the PowerPoint. I can't find my words this morning. I know.
That's one phrase I do not have to say anymore. They use plenty of words.
That's not a good word.
Like I say something, she's been around for a while.
She has.
I was like, for one, I'm just laughing at you.
Right.
No, but I don't feel well with growling.
Is it up or no?
I don't have the email. I'm like, I love her. But
Oh,
So, yeah, if one of you can check, I just want to make sure that you do see me at some point on there, and then we can get going. So class 2 homework. How did everybody do on class 1 homework? Good? Not too much? I know it's more. I know we've texted a little bit like, hey, life's busy. I get it. Our goal is not to add 5 or 6 extra hours this week, but this is more realistic. This 2 to 4 hours, if you're doing a mixer this week or you went to one, you should be having about 4 hours. You and I spent a lot of time on the phone this week, meeting in person. You probably got 6 hours plus in this week, right?
But you know what? Doing it that often made it more intentional. And I found myself, even when we weren't talking and I wasn't studying, it was like, oh, it just naturally came out as I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the whole, go ahead.
It says you're not logged in yet.
Says I'm not logged in yet?
Yeah, it says the webinar creator has not logged in yet. Sorry to know.
It says we're recording and broadcasting, so, but we've got one person, Erica's live online.
she's.
Same thing?
Sorry, I didn't.
No, we're good.
It's a great spot.
I know.
This good mind stuff for me for the day.
Yeah, it'll wake you up.
Okay. Focus for us. As soon as I get home, I have to work for the rest of the day.
Well, it did this last week. Is Erica okay to watch it later? Because I don't want to go through and I mean, I can if we need to, though.
Is this what it did last week though? Because I thought last week it at least popped up and we saw it when we tested it.
It did the second time. I don't know why it's not the first time, because it says we're live. It says we're broadcasting and camera's working.
Have you logged into the? Hold on, she's not.
Gosh. I mean, if I was smarter than. Okay, it should be going now. Thank you for pointing out the obvious to me. I always forget to press enter the room. So sit tight, presenter has started the broadcast. Hasn't started the broadcast?
I'm starting to question your leadership.
I know. I would on the technology side. I absolutely.
You are not winning on the technology side.
Right?
Yeah. I love having Mixer. His house is like, so Debbie, you need to do this. Right. He's like, ta-da.
Oh, I can request to speak. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I do.
All right.
Says we have 3 attendees.
Yeah, I think it's
Not
Oh,
4.
What's that?
Mine says 4.
Okay.
okay. You're good.
Good?
She looks-
Okay. All right. Let's roll then. Okay. So you brought up a perfect point, and I want to start with that. Honestly, think about your business as a cell phone battery. If you guys don't stay plugged in, you eventually will hit something like AdGo Nation. Your battery's full when you leave there, and you're going to continue the farther and farther and farther you get away from that. If you don't plug back in, if you don't get to, whether it's another event or watch a training online or do something, because doing this type of industry, it's just not normal. Most people are exactly what Debbie was just talking about. They're the, man, I'm working 60, 80 hours a week and I'm crushing it, and I got the new Lexus and I got the, that's great. If that's what your goals are and your purpose, that's fantastic. My goals are to pay off all of our debt, be completely debt free before I'm 40, have my wife home, and have my kids' college funds and our wedding funds for my daughters and all the rest of that stuff started and ready to go. Because I know that those things are coming. I'm not looking for bigger, better, huge, whatever. If it comes and we've got a boat or something, but it's going to be because I want to be able to hang out with family and friends and people in the business, not because I want to go show off and be flashy. It's okay if that's what the goals are, but if you're not plugging in, it's very easy to take that purpose and kind of set it off to the side. If you guys saw my post yesterday on Facebook, that 2-minute, 9-second video on your why, it's got to be strong. Life's going to knock you down. You're going to have somebody be like, why are you doing this direct sales thing or whatever? You know what I mean? So real quick. So homework class 2, it's continuing to fill out that the daily method of operations, which we will kind of cover that a little bit more detail today. Okay. So we call it the DMO, 24-day challenge coaching checklist. This is key, guys. This was not around when we started. It was call on the day before the start, and then maybe 3. It was kind of like, wow, because this 24-day challenge has only been around for about 7 years. Matt Warren and Chuck and Lindis and Chuck and Lindis Hot Tub were like, we've got some great products. Maybe we should put some of these together. That's really how the 24-day challenge came about. Hot Tub Dreaming or something. I don't know what you want to call it, but the idea was we got great products, let's put it together, and the challenge is taken off. So, okay, so invite 5 people in the success system. Each week it's 5 people. That's your minimum goal. Fill out up to 1 form and build your follow-up binder. We talked about it. Bree's doing a booth tomorrow. If she doesn't follow up, if she can have 20 leads tomorrow and they can be great. If she doesn't follow up with them, those 20 are going to turn into 0 real fast. Follow up is everything. Talking to your girlfriend and, like you said, hey, she was eating unhealthy and now she's questioning ingredients. You just love her where she's at. But the reality is, being able to take somebody like, hey, look, I got somebody who's an expert on our team and who's a, perfect for nutrition and all these guidelines and all the rest of the stuff. Pull up one of our old mixers that's online. Hey, is she in town or is she out of town? Perfect. Be able to send her one of our old mixers and have Debbie talk about a little bit of the clean eating and the nutrition and stuff like that that's in there. That's all on elevatefreedom.com. In some of the training, we'll have some of the old mixers that are stored in there with the live links that you can send to people. So use that while you're doing these things. All right, so let's get rolling here. Anybody have any questions from last week? All right. There's another one in here somewhere, right? Yeah, stop me if you guys have questions this week. I don't want to just be rambling through stuff. Make sure. Yeah, and if Erica has any questions, same thing. Just have her text you or whatever, and then we can answer them as we go. Okay, so still looks like that, but she's seeing it. So for some reason, when I do it, you might have to restart it or whatever. Okay, so who all got to a mixer? I know you 2 got to a mixer. Anybody else get to a mixer or anything this last week? Okay, so the event's coming up. We got Thursday at Chuck and Linda's house again. And then we have the 8th that is at our church that Debbie and I are going to be rocking out. That's going to be come in comfortable clothes. We don't care. We're going to be in workout clothes. We're going to be doing frac app demonstration, the 5 myths of weight loss and why nutrition is so important. And we're going to cover kind of those 5, 6 super fitness moves, including some fun burpees and stuff. So, yes.
Yeah, just like it.
Yeah. All right, so mindset is exactly what I was just talking about with the phone. Guys, it's all about, having the positive mindset moving forward. And the guiding principles were the front of the magazine. You got one right there. Steal that. Here. You guys still have yours from last week?
Thank you.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, so I mean, the first three for me were huge. You know, honor God through our faith, family, and friends. Respect and strengthen the individual. You know, those first few should be the next page for you, Amy. Yeah, right there.
Thank you.
So Charlie Regis' guiding principles, but one of them was to make sure we set a standard in the industry. I've been spending a lot of time, should say a lot of time, but doing some research on some other companies and other things, and you know, it really makes me grateful for what we have, pay plan wise, the way it's set up, some of the specific things that we do. The retail sales, there's a retail sales compliance report that we can talk a little bit more about. Once you get advisors underneath you, you will need to make sure that you have retail sales. Okay, so the goal is you're all going to have advisors underneath you. Okay, we're building this to silver. We at least want one, right? So one advisor, how much does need to be under their leg? How much PGB under their leg? One advisor in order for silver. 3,000. And you need to have how much? 1,000. Okay, so 3 and 1. So that one person is doing that. In order to get our override and leadership, we need to have 5 retail sales in each pay period. I used to think that was crazy. I'm like, dude, why did Charlie set it up that way? The FDA, one of the problems that the FDA and the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, one of the issues that they have with direct selling companies is we only sell memberships or discounts. And then with most companies, you have an auto ship or a minimum that you have to do. Well, we don't. But we need to show that we're selling retail products as if we are our own storefront. That protects us on 2 different areas. One, we're not just selling memberships. We want memberships. I want every one of my customers from 20 to 40%. I want them to have the best discount. But if they're not interested, I'll continue to take 40% profit off of my retail sales customers. But that also protects us from those 2 big entities and says, no, we actually sell retail products as if we are a legitimate storefront and we have discount memberships. We don't have minimums. So that takes us out of the category of one of those things. And that's why he set it up that way. Because it used to drive me crazy. Where am I going to get 5 retail sales? I'm going to have to start opening the phone book. You know what I mean? And you know, we can talk a little bit more about this afterwards when we're not recording. So I'll answer some of those questions.
When you talk about retail sales, is that just person to person, or if they buy off your microsite?
They can buy it off your your microsite retail. So if you meet them at the gym and they just continue to order product, or you guys, you know, bump into somebody at work or church or family, friends, any of that stuff, and they're just like, I don't want a discount membership. Okay, it makes sense. But here's my information. Here's where you can go to order. But the other thing is they also make sure that your retail customers are protected. One of the reasons that even as a retail customer, they still sign up and get a customer ID and login password is because that person, even as a retail customer, is tied to you. They order products, they jump on and they order products from Heather's website, and 6 months down the road, they jump on and they're at somebody else's mixer. For some reason, I don't know why they're not coming back to you, but it happens. They jump on and they log on and they go to order retail, even though they think they're ordering from Joe Schmo down the road. Guess what? It directs it right back to your website and it will send you the 40% profit. And that person that they'll add, they'll be like, why didn't I get the profit? Because we're protecting you and your relationship and your retail customers. In order to not be your retail customer, they have to call corporate and release their name and social security number to go to you. I like that. We're doing the work. We're talking to the people. I want to make sure that they're going to continue to be a customer of yours. Okay, so mindset moving forward, it's not all about valuables, it's about value. This is what I was just talking about. When I talk to even some of our higher ups that make crazy money, Brock Meadows, $60,000 a month. It took him quite a while to build his home. And I asked him, I was like, what's taking so long? He's like, it's amazing the discount you get when you pay cash for every single step. I'm like, man, I'm building my dream home and I'm paying cash for every step. Like, that's crazy to me, but he was smart with his money, continued to pay each step. He's like, even on a driveway that's a quarter mile long, he give you a 20% discount when you're paying cash up front. It's like, okay. So that whole cash is king, all the rest of the stuff. But that's what I'm watching these people do it stay debt-free like our company has been debt-free since day one. Charlie took his millions and invested to keep us debt-free. Our new 250,000 square foot warehouse, we're debt-free. So it's about keeping it the right way and the values, but that's going to have to do with your purpose and your why going forward, okay? All right, so pay periods. When do the pay periods end?
Second and third Tuesday.
Second and third. Or first and third, I'm sorry.
First and third. Okay.
You said second.
I said second.
There's
fourth.
two.
I was off.
There's two.
We're good.
We're ending the first and third Tuesday of every month, okay? And so this next Tuesday coming up, we have the end of a pay period. So number one, successful tickets go up Monday. So that's something you guys, if that's even on your radar, you guys need to think about that. I've never seen them this cheap. Since we've been in, it's always been a minimum of $129 to $179 for successful tickets. In fact, they're $79 right now. That's pretty cheap. The other thing is the all-in challenge. Rebecca emailed across the board. She emailed everybody's people yesterday. She had a couple hours of downtime at work yesterday, so she was like, "Hey, I'll just jump on and do this." I'm surprised at how many of our people aren't taking advantage of the free shipping. Ohio kills us on shipping, so you would think that it'd be like, "Hey, let's take advantage of this." But
Did my people all get the email from her? Everybody?
they should. Yeah, she emailed 104 people yesterday. Now, we didn't do any of your retail customers because we don't have that.
Right.
So when you go to your complete downline report, you should have a list of who order retail. That you guys need to take care of. But I would do that today or tomorrow if you can, because again, they have to order by Tuesday. But if they're a retail customer and they were a retail customer, they can do $100. They get free shipping on $100. If they're a distributor, it's $250 and they get free shipping. But you can also, like I added magazines and other stuff because that's always expensive because of the weight for the shipping. I added a bunch of magazines to mine. I added some of the videos. I had some of the Charlie Reggie CDs, some of those other things that I'm normally like, I don't really, I'm almost out, or I need some of these, So to be able to do that, again, it saves you on the shipping. So you guys think about in terms of that, these are different seeds. Like I'm sending one of these magazines to my buddy in Arizona right now, who's a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps, that I just, you guys, I'm challenging myself. I'm trying to do 30 while you guys do 15. Like I challenge myself. If I'm leading this, I'm trying to lead by example. So my list, my phone calls, Linda's been on the phone with me a lot this week. She's like, wow, I'm like, no, I'm taking this seriously just like I want you guys to, So pay periods, what did I say last week? Our 3 jobs are take the products,
wear the colors,
wear the colors, and
talk to people.
talk to people. Perfect. Okay, so that's exactly what this is. We want to wear the colors, something along those lines at the bottom. Whether it's your wrist bracelet or T-shirt or hat. I mean, I'm fully decked out. I'm heading to a basketball game right after this, and I got a few parents I've been talking to. So, yes.
He moves it like just the left hand. And there's the right hand.
I apologize. Should have said something. Okay, so Mark Lightgibb is one of the first distributors ever in AdvoCare. 80% of the company is under him, which is great. Even Danny McDaniels is under him. Danny McDaniels, who's our #1 earner in the company, is underneath Mark Lightgibb. That's what I still like about this. It's a work to get paid program. Mark Lightgibb has retired a couple times from AdvoCare, spent time with his family, done a lot of these things at their level. This has really added that stability to pick and choose life by design and do what you guys want to do. He was a strength coach for college, and then he recruited an NFL strength coach. That's how their business kind of got started. And it led to a lot of other people. But the DMO is going to be the video link, okay? We're not going to take the time to watch it. You guys can watch. It will be on your microsite. When you go to training, the training room, you guys will be able to go under business training and stuff. The DMO should be on there with Mark Lightgibb. And I will try to remember to put an active link so you guys don't have to search through. But again, these are hyperlinked. You should be able to just click on them and go back to the video. But basically the idea is with your DMO, actually we've got an example here coming up next. Okay, perfect. Okay, so one-on-one meetings. Those are a great intro, but as far as points go for this Silver Boot Camp, do those count? No, they don't. But they are a great intro. We start the conversation. One of the conversations I had yesterday with a guy over in Indiana, he's like, oh, nobody wants to get on the phone. Again, we go back to the need and showing them how we can help them. Because he's like, well, hey, do you want to get on with my sponsor? As soon as someone says sponsor to me, I'm out. Hey, my friend Phil, who I've been working with for a few months, he's really been helping me. The next step, if you're really interested in more, I want to get you on the phone with him. What works for you? Tomorrow or Sunday? Tomorrow or Sunday. Anyway, you know what I mean. But that's my word choice. I'm not asking them, I'm not wishy-washy. It's like, you're sharing your story. You are confident that those products have absolutely changed your runtime and the rest of that stuff, and you're loving the products and you're loving the body composition change and all the rest of that stuff. The reality is, when you believe it and you have more confidence in it, they will too. Nobody wants to get on with your new sponsor because you just started a business and they're going to show them the way. I've been doing this for 5 years and I'm not interested in doing that. But I've had to find different word choices to be able to get people on the phone, because when I did that at the beginning, nobody wanted to get on the phone with Linda. But now when I'm like, well, hey, these people, he's a retired pastor, she's a retired singer and part-time trainer. I mean, they're making $60,000 a month and they helped us make almost $10,000 last month. Dude, I got to get you on the phone with them. They're really going to be able to set us both up for success to get you moving in the right direction. Wait, he's a pastor and he made $60,000 last month? Did you mean last year? No, last month. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I can try to find some time, is what I'm getting from some of my Marine Corps buddies right now. I'm sorry, I didn't make that last year. I've been in for 12 years. Okay, 2-on-1 phone call or 2-on-1 meetings. Did one with Bree this week. The idea is you're going to bring that person in, the same as a 3-way phone call. You want to bring them in as the credibility. You're going to introduce them, and it's not, hey, this is Phil and this is Joe, and then you just back out. You want to build that person up. Hey, this is the person who's been helping me. They've been making a great amount of income, and weight loss success story. It's fantastic. And hey, Phil, this is my friend Joe. Joe is, we've been friends for a long time, and I know that he is just really interested in some of the things we have to offer, especially with the products. Don't know if the business opportunity is for him yet, but I really just wanted you guys to kind of meet and then turn it over. It's not just like a cold, hey, you might as well just hand your phone number over to that person. That's not what this is about. We want the warm introduction, because when we have the warm, introduction of third-party credibility, and then you guys, if you're on the phone, sit back, hit mute, and take notes. The kids are running around, dogs are barking, doesn't matter. Throw your earbuds in and just try to pay attention the best you can. That's how I learned for the first 3 months with Linda. It was, you guys know Linda, we call her the Velvet Hammer. I was sitting at a kitchen table and I interrupted her twice. The second time she shot me a look like, if you talk again, I'm leaving. And I was like, we left, and she's like, both times I was trying to make a point and you interrupted and it went a different direction because of the point you brought up, and then it went on a rabbit trail, and I had to try to bring it back around to, because we're trying to find where AdvoCare can fit in to their life and be a solution. So if I'm talking about diapers for 10 minutes, I have a point, especially when they're talking about how broke they are, how expensive diapers are, and everything else. I'm trying to lead it to, and I had somebody in a conversation last week who was like, dude, oh my gosh, you should totally switch to cloth diapers. And I was just like, but we talked about diapers for a while. It's ridiculous, but then I was able to talk to him and he's like, oh, I'm like, I'm here for you, but if I've got 15-minute break away from my kids, I want to make it the most valuable for both of us. Okay, same as your booth tomorrow. That's what we're going to talk about a little bit afterwards. I don't want her to go spend 4 hours of her day and it'd be a complete waste of time. If it's going to be something, I want it to be an hour or 2 hours and be productive. You know what I mean? So there's different ways we can help each other. Enroll a new distributor. Guys, you're not going to have a check mark by one of these every single day. I have a whiteboard up in my office, and it literally has the DMO written out in permanent marker. It's not coming off of my whiteboard. And I want that for a reason. I'm sure one of you guys have something. I know the oils take stuff off. I want it to be up. I don't want Tristan to come in and rub her hands all over my DMO and it disappear. I want it to stay there. And I'm not going to have a new distributor every day. I'm not going to have one every week. Rebecca and I, we have a goal, new distributor every pay period. It used to be a new distributor or 2 every pay period. That's what we were. But now it's 1 new for us and 12 on our whole organization at a minimum. That's our goal for the whole team. So we have our individual goals and then team goals. sold 100 products today. $100 worth of product. We sell 24-day challenge. You knock that out of the water. You're $200 right there. Get someone to a local event. BizOp Mixer. BizOp is one of the big meetings we have at the church. February 8th is going to be one of those. And by the way, I was totally wrong. February 8th is a Monday, not Tuesday.
Sorry.
Bree pointed that out. She's like, no, I'm positive my husband's birthday is on a Tuesday, and it's the 9th. I'm like, wait, let me.
Again, questioning the leadership skills.
That's just calendar skills.
I know, right? That's why we love you. You're not perfect, thank God.
If I can do this. We call it the KISS method in the Marine Corps. Keep it simple. Never mind. Okay, Show the Impact magazine or DVD. I kind of covered the magazine a little bit last week. You guys need, if the new one just came out, you guys need to buy it. It's $15 for a pack of 10. Now I know that there's 4 different versions, but I don't know if that means all the stories are different. I'm literally, mine should be in the mail right now. They're all the same. Okay, perfect.
It's the same, all the covers are different.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, good. And I like that because it may be, one of them, when I got a runner friend, I'm going to be having Rachel and the person on the front who's running. And then, if I got a yoga friend or one of these flexible friends or whatever, Rachel on another cover, So many different things, different areas that you can kind of go with that. You guys got to know the stories though. I can't send my buddy in Arizona a magazine with pages folded down and Mount Warren says, take a sticky note and write to, hey man, I was really thinking about you. I think the story would be great. Like, check this out, and I'll call you in a few days. He's the sticky note king. Like, you're going to open a magazine you get from him. It's going to be like, holy, that's sticky notes. But it's open. I fold down pages, and then I use a magic marker. That was Danny McDaniel's training. For me, magic marker, I can have everywhere sticky notes. They're going to be everywhere with my kids. So hopefully that helps. DVD is case by case. There's got to be a specific story on there and a reason for me to send it to somebody. Sample products. I got 2 guys online yesterday. They're part of the Red Bull lawsuit. Did you guys see this? So the Red Bull lawsuit has been going on for 2 years. Well, they won money, this whole class action lawsuit. They got 4 cases in their part of the lawsuit of more Red Bull. Both of them, I hit them up. Hey guys, I got nothing against Red Bull, but I've got something that I can guarantee is going to be a lot healthier, a lot safer for you and your kids. Are you guys interested? I'll send you some samples, and all I'm asking for you is some good feedback and how you guys feel after I send you some samples. Heck yeah, send me some stuff. I'm like, okay. Who knows if it goes anywhere or not, but that was just an opportunity I saw yesterday on one of my Marine Corps pages, because Marines and people in that industry, they're all about the energy drinks. If that pot of coffee didn't work in the morning, the 6 monsters will. And I'm not kidding. Follow up. That one should be, if you're working your business 4 hours for the week, you should have follow up in like 2 or 3 of those days at least. Okay, so circle that one. It's got to be your most important. Talk to new people about Advocare. My goal is 2 people new every day. Remember, but I'm going for 1 distributor every pay period. So that means in 14 days, I'm talking to 28 people, and I'm hoping to get 1 that actually signs up. I may sell some other products. I may do some other things. Who knows if I actually hit those numbers, but I have a goal, and I'm trying to stick to that. And the only way I keep track of that is I mark it down, and then every pay period, I take one of these, I print it out, stick it in folder. So I've got 20-something of these at the end of the day, or at the end of the year, and I know I've looked back and I go, man, why was that pay period so bad? Oh, you want a vacation? You can talk to no one. Okay, cool. Well, got it.
You don't talk to people on vacation?
I do sometimes. I didn't at the beginning though. Like when we went to vacation with Matt and Tanya, I think we talked to a person on the plane, and then the funny part is we found out she was already buying Spark from one of our distributors somewhere, who's a cheerleading coach. And that was it. We never followed up or anything. That was one of the ones I wrote in my journal the other day. I'm like, oh my gosh, what about? And Becca was like, I never even thought about that. You know what I mean? It's just simple things that were in front of us that 2 years ago, we weren't really, and for a long time, we were hobbyists. I mean, it was amazing how intentional I had to be when I was working full-time, watching the kids, going to school full-time, and then doing Advocare when I had to be. Now that we have way more time, it's amazing how non-intentional we can be because we have extra time. It's easy not to do. Okay, so keep moving forward. Anybody have any questions? DMO? All right. How to do a 3-way phone call. I just talked about that, the introduction, the mute button. I did a very painful one the other day. The guy would not press mute. He was in a very, very loud, echoing car phone. I mean, people were honking. At one point, he's yelling at a driver going by. I'm just like, hey, Josh, can we hit mute? You know, doing what I can. You know, it's a buddy of mine up in Michigan. And it's just like, dude. And he's like, oh, my bad. I didn't even think about it. But I'd already coached him on. So when you're coaching somebody, make sure that they're hearing what you're saying. Sometimes I mean, it's like talking to my kids sometimes. I got to make sure that they're hearing everything because we're all busy. Especially if we're talking on the phone, I can't see if they're paying attention to what I'm saying or any of the rest of that. So, let's see. The goal of the call is not always to get somebody on product. It may be to get them to the next meeting or the next phone call. I've had somebody I've had on 4 phone calls now, and they're still not in as a distributor. They're now using some product though. O2 Gold is the only thing that person's willing to try right now. I still think that that's a win for that distributor though. Because very first use, wow. I mean, I normally hit that wall like 3-4 miles, and I felt pretty good today. What if I actually took it an hour out like it says on the bottle? Oh, well, how far out did you take it? About 15 minutes. How long does it take you to get from work to where you're running? About 25, 30 minutes. Take it right before you leave work. At least try that. You know what I mean? So even just little things like that. You had a little bit of a win and didn't even take it right. So, you know, it's just keep going. So it's not always like, hey, I'm going to get them on the phone with Phil. Guaranteed they're going straight to advisor. I would love to be able to have that kind of power for you guys, but I can't say that Debbie and I can pull that yet. And Chuck and Linda said it last week at their mixer. Sometimes it's easier to believe, hey, I made $1,500 last year. I made $1,200 last year than it is, hey, I made $10,000 last month. Yeah, right. No, you didn't. Show me your face. You have that.
I think more people are going to be likely to follow that and get with you if they're like, hey, I made $1,200 last month. The past 6 months, I averaged, $1,000 each month. Like, that's going to be much more attainable to people initially to get them going than hearing these stories. Like, hey, we made $6 grand. It's like, So keep that in mind too, that when you're picking your stories and who you're talking to, choose wisely what you bring up.
If you know that person is just needing an extra couple $100, maybe just needs their product paid for, Chuck and Linda's store is probably not going to fit too well in there. But, if you guys have heard, has everybody in here heard Debbie's story? Okay. So, being able to use that, or if you know that family's tight or they're having to get another job or something, like something's going on, you use that story. You could use even ours when we started. Our first 6 months, we averaged $75 an hour. I was never going to make that in construction room report. Yeah, I don't care how hard I worked. It was not happening. The lawyer I was working with at the time from a drywall company that wanted some of our money, he wasn't barely making $75 an hour. So he still uses product. He was impressed by that number. Okay, so you'd be surprised. Even some of the people that have the big degrees and all the rest of the stuff, hey, that's pretty good money. He likes Spark. At least doesn't want to talk to him, right? Okay, tools and how to use them. The Impact Magazine, the DVD, the websites and videos. So Increase Ohio. That's going to be another one of these from Mark, theadvisormovie.com. That is somebody who has showed interest in more than 20%. That's who I send that one to. Okay? 24daychallengemovie.com. It's like 5 minutes, Wes Bewley, basically breaking down the 24-day challenge. Guys, these are very, very usable tools. Don't try to reinvent the wheel and be like, well, I think we need to re-record or need to do. Trust me, I spent so much time doing that. I mean, Matt Hickey and I recorded we were there all day long recording a sports performance product video. 2 weeks later, guess what changed? All the packaging on sports performance stuff and the whole video was completely a waste of time. But then Avocare came out with different things. I mean, there are just so many different ideas and things that are out there. Before you spend the time to try to reinvent it, come up with a new form, I promise you it's worth the time to look. Okay, so lifebydesign.com, dreamlifebydesign.com, that's all Matt Warren. Okay, Matt Warren's website. Be able to go to that, know that information. I use Matt's, Chuck and Linda's, And then pretty much if it's not there or if it's not on our training room, it may not be super, super important, but shoot, I'm trying to remember the so many different websites going through my head right now. Belief and Vision, that's the Vision Casters. I honestly haven't used that one much. Okay, but the
I
top.
use championmakers.com.
Thank you.
That-
Championmakerstraining.com. That is Danny McDaniel's. That one is
Epic.
yes.
That's a good one.
Pretty much combine everybody's website across the entire business, and if it's not in Danny's,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. And again,
We'll make sure we put that website when we send out the email.
yeah, well, I'll forget. So. I mean,
When and how do you use the websites? Because obviously I'm not going to just
well,
post it to Facebook.
these are websites. These are webinars.
Webinars, okay.
Yes, these are webinars here. That's Matt's website.
Right.
The websites are specifically for me and you, for training opportunities. The Dream Life by Design, that one's going to be one that I'm specifically using, like the form that I need to get you that I now look at you, totally forgot to send you last night. That is all about how to do boots. That's on Matt's.
Okay.
There's also a form that says exactly how you do a mixer. That's on Matt's. All of those things are all things I literally used to do booths at when it was Urban Active. I literally would just stand downstairs and do booths. I read that flyer, said, well, I have nothing else to do today because I still have no job. And my wife's at home with the kids. So I'm standing here and doing a booth and saying for people on Spark. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be case by case. 24-day challenge movie. I've got somebody who is not local. I cannot get to them. I can't get them to a mixer or anything else. But they want to start a 24-day challenge. That may be a good one for your friend. Okay. But watch it first. Don't just send it to them and be like, hey, how'd you like it? Well, on this part, oh crap, I don't even know what they're talking about. I've been that guy too. Hey, this is great. Hear about it in a training, and I don't have time to watch it, and I'm sending it out to people, and they're like, hey, what about it? And I'm like, yeah, watch it first. Check it out. 24-day challenge movie, I'm pretty sure is 5 to 6 minutes. The advisor movie is like 22. But it goes into why a direct selling company with consumable products is an amazing business opportunity.
Okay.
If you have I love my wife, but you can only pack so many purses in her closet before I have to then start putting totes of purses in the basement. She used to do the purse parties and stuff. And it's just like, I love you and your jewelry with your 5 jewelry boxes and your 7 totes of purses. But at some point, we got to get rid of some of this crap. If you take product that you love and it really is working for you, you will continue to buy product. You won't stock up in your cabinet because you continue to consume it. It's a Johnson & Johnson model. If it's not a consumable product, they will not sell it. But there's a reason why companies that use consumable products that work will continue to make money and continue to lead in the industry. It's because they work and they are consumed, gone, you need to buy more. So that's the whole idea, but that is the advisor movie. And then exactly what Debbie had said, Champion Makers Training. You could sit there for the next year and watch video training, Danny breaking down this, breaking down advisor, breaking down.
I still do weekly. I'll jump on and I'll either look at a new one I haven't seen yet or re-look at a different one because it's just good to watch them.
Yep.
And just recap your own training and get, different wording to use and stuff. And the fact of the matter is it's there. It's for you to utilize, and it's a way for you to stay plugged in when you're not on the phone with me or Phil or you're not at an event. It's a way for you to continue doing your own training on your own.
Okay.
If you had a rough day and you've had a couple of no's,
Watch something.
go watch one of these trainings or something like that. That's what I used to do. It just is like, I need something to plug me back in, and point me right back. Like I'd go watch. Jenny Donnelly is Rebecca's favorite. I mean, borderline stalking. Not even kidding. But she's got a ton of those trainings on there. Jenny's on. Jenny and Bob live in Washington, the state. Well, Danny lives in Texas. They did everything over the phone because email wasn't really that active back like 14 years ago or whatever. But now as Double Diamonds, they're rocking it out in Washington, and now they've got their 4th kid and everything else. They kind of really do just sit and live life as they want it. Her trainings about unpacking your purpose, taking your life to the next level, being consistent. you don't get much more direct and life applicable than Jenny Dunn. So if you see some of those, like watch them. Especially I've seen it, what it's done for my wife. That's why, sorry, you're the only dude in the room minus me. But Danny, I like Danny. He's a football coach, very blunt. Here's what you need to do. Go do it. Oh, okay, I can do that. Okay, so these hopefully these sites get to know someone this week. What's your favorite doctor? You guys are supposed to look up at least 2 this week. What's your favorite doctor and why?
Goldberg,
Okay.
because I said this last night when I was talking to my friend. Dude is 75 years old. He's working out 3 hours a day. He's taking products. He can lift more than Jay and I combined, and he's 75 years old. Like,
Yep.
it's insane.
He's in that old Impact
he's-
magazine, by the way, you guys.
Yeah.
If you have your Impact magazine there to see who she's talking about, this doctor, I think that's the magazine.
Yep.
he's in.
As I stole this from Linda, who I don't know if it's
Probably
Linda's
someone-
line,
yeah.
or she might have stolen it from somebody else, but he's a product of the product.
Yep. And that's part of what this is. You want to be a product of the product. You want to take the products. You're going to sell what you take and what you do. You're going to sell more running products than I will. Straight up. I'm going to sell more lifting products than you will, probably. I'm going to sell some more mass impact and some of the bulking products and some of that other stuff, especially being around the football team this last year. I'm going to naturally sell more of that. My wife is going to sell more Spark than all of us. I think she consumes more than all of us for good reason right now. But you know what I mean? Like you're going to have that. Krista, what was your favorite doctor?
I was bad.
Dang it.
Sorry.
It's all right. What about you guys?
I
I
like,
get 2, but I'm gonna say Goldberg for the sake.
I like Gail Crashy.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Because I like the idea that I can now sell people who have told me, well, I did the 24-day challenge and I just couldn't stomach the fiber drink. And it
Yeah.
wasn't just me. I've had 3 people
Oh, yeah.
tell me that this week. And I said, oh, well, how long ago did you do it? Oh, 2 years, 4 years.
Yep.
Oh, let me tell you about this fabulous new thing. It's been totally reinvented. And they're like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was awesome to be able to say, we had a doctor come in and reformulate it rather than just, the people in the back room got
Right.
together and mixed up some powder and said, oh, this.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to point to somebody who was outside of Advocare.
Well, she did leadership training focusing on the lack of fiber in the American diet. You want an average of 15 to 20 grams of fiber each day. The average American gets less than 12. You start off your day with a fiber drink. She's like, whether you're on the cleanse or not. If you started with a fiber drink, you immediately started with 10. You're already almost what the normal average American gets. To be able to keep the intestinal tract moving the right way, to be able to process food the right way, and keep the intestinal tract cleaner longer, you want good fiber in your system. It's like, I'd never heard that before until she came to our company. So, okay, 24-day challenge, our flagship program. I always use it's the appetizer to the menu. It's it's what most people choose when they start. And I always say even bodybuilders do this because it's not just a weight loss program. It's not. Guys, it's here to truly reset your system, to maximize absorption, kill cravings, and help you feel better with more energy. Whatever it is, whatever taglines that really stand out to you, whatever product that we have here, and I'm going to rattle some of these off real quick. Do your best to write some of these down, okay? When somebody's asking you about a product, your goal is not to memorize every single ingredient. You have a box with ingredients on it. Don't be that guy. Remember, stories sell, facts tell. We're not trying to tell. We really are trying to get people to purchase a product because we know they're going to have good results. So, herbal cleanse system. If you're a guy talking to guys, you're a girl talking to guys. Typically, it's like changing the oil to your car. Your car's going to run better when you change the oil. I always use, it's like changing the lint trap. If you don't change the lint trap in the dryer, towels don't dry. Okay? So use one of those when you're talking about the herbal cleanse system. Okay? And that includes the fiber. Goes right in there. Omegas, good fat in, bad fat out. That's the idea. We're going to decrease inflammation during this. If you're my wife, it's great for your hair, skin, and nails and every cell in your body. But I don't have the bouncy, curly blonde hair. So, Spark, Windex for the brain. Happy Mommy Juice. Vitamins for the mind.
Happy mommy juice works.
But it does. It's really become a tagline in our family. Happy mommy juice. Hey, I'm Mr. Mom. I'll own that too. I don't care.
I'm going to interrupt
Go
real
ahead.
quickly for something that my husband uses, because he really sparks his thing, and that's what he drinks now instead of soda. He got off soda when, I don't know, whenever he did a challenge, I think is when it actually did start, and now it sparks his soda. It's something for him to drink besides water, gives him, you know, the little bit of caffeine, and he's good to go. So depending on where people are like soda drinkers, you definitely want to say, hey, spark instead of your soda.
Yep. Yeah. Good, clean energy. Any of these things, I tend to stay away from the energy drink because people who are not energy drink people freak out. But then when you talk to them, well, I have 2 Diet Cokes in a day, or, you know, I have all of these, or I have a pot of coffee. You just drank double the caffeine that I do in one energy drink. You know what I mean? Like, so it just is about word choices. The same reason I don't talk about distributorships, I talk about discount memberships. Okay, meal replacement shakes. It is a perfect balanced meal on the go. Our problem is portion control, and a lot of these shakes, you'll look at them and you'll see 90 calories. You will lose weight drinking 90 calories
You're
twice a
starving
day.
to death.
Yeah, your muscle will disappear too. Your body cannot function without the proper amount of balanced carbohydrates, the right kind, at the right time, and good protein. You need it. Okay? M&S. We just call it a bucket of nutrition. When somebody asked me about MS3, it's the balance of wellness, energy, and appetite control. That's what I start most people on. It's the balance of 3. Okay?
I feel like I was channeling this.
Good.
Like I used all of these.
But that's what I didn't get this from me. I got this from Linda and added me to it. Don't be Phil. There's only one Phil. Trust me, only one can fit in here. You guys own whatever. I mean, you know, when Debbie's up there, she's owning her clean eating and her credentials and all the rest of that stuff with her. And I know she believes what she's saying. I'm not going to argue with her. She stood up there and was like, well, I mean, you could do this. And I mean, yeah. If she was waffling, everybody did like whatever. But she doesn't do that. When she's up there with no sleeves and her arms look like that, you're like, okay, that product's got to work. Okay, so that's 20/40 challenge in a nutshell. Average weight loss if you need to lose weight. Okay, if I've got a room full of people and I've got a bodybuilder sitting over here and I've got other people sitting over here, I will focus on if you need to lose weight. Average weight loss is 10 to 20 pounds, 12 inches. Or you could say 12 pounds, 12 inches. Whatever's going to be more convenient for you. Those are the averages, okay?
What was the average of inches? When you say
12. Yep. Right now, when we got 2014, last I heard, it was around 12 inches all over the body. The Diamonds try to keep track of that stuff. They'll ask us, as some of the leaders sometimes, like, hey, what is your team averaging right now? When you're talking to them and you're coaching them, well, if I'm not following up, I'm not going to know. Okay, so, okay, the other ones, Thermo Plus. It's a thermogenic. Burn more calories, have more energy. We want to make these things simple and easy to remember for you, but easy to tell to somebody else. I don't want you to go in, well, it boosts your metabolism and bumps your body temperature this much and then burns an extra 300 calories per 2 pills. And most people don't care. Add me some extra energy, burn more calories. Cool. Because I have people, especially in that 20 to 25 range, you have a thermogenic? Yes, we do. We have Thermo Plus. Oh, what's it focus on? More energy, burn more calories. That's what you're looking for, right? Yep. Cool. Okay, Catalyst. Shield over your lean muscle, force your body to burn fat. That's what it does. It provides the shield and forces your body to burn more fat. Okay? That is why we take that product. That is the and pregnant, breastfeeding, athlete, non-athlete, I don't care who you are, that is a great product to take. When my wife gets pregnant, she takes even more. It's the reason my son is 7 months old, standing on the furniture, pulling stuff over. And I'm like, what are you, no, you're supposed to crawl first. Then he falls backwards.
Catalyst, baby.
Yeah. Carbies Plus. It does not stop your body breaking down carbs. This is one thing the doctors were very clear at the last leadership one that I went to. It inhibits, which means it will still absorb some, okay? It inhibits the breakdown of carbs and fats for about 2 hours in your system. This is not an everyday product.
If you take it every day, it means you're not eating clean every day.
And you will see a consistency difference when you use one of two options, specifically number 2.
Do you recommend that when people buy the challenge? I feel like
No.
you shouldn't eat it on the challenge.
After.
I always have them buy it. This is a day 17. We're talking about ordering.
Okay.
Enjoy your cake and eat it too at the birthday party or whatever. But if I have somebody start and they're like, I have 2 kids' birthdays specifically, whatever. Hey, guess what? Our 90-10, there's your two cheat meals, cheat days, whatever. And I would like you to buy that product.
Okay.
So be specific. If you have special events coming up in the next 24 days, when you're coaching somebody, like what things are planned in the next month? Well, I got a huge Super Bowl party and I got this and that. I'm not having a Super Bowl party. I'm not eating great food. It's happening.
Keep in mind too, when you're selling a 24-day challenge, nobody gets a 24-day challenge from Phil and I without Catalyst. Like you're doing a 24-day challenge with us or someone on our team, you're getting Catalyst. We're pretty strict about that because we know the benefits of Catalyst. However, the Thermo Plus and the Carbies, for example, and the Crave Check, it's one of those things that those are great opportunities to when you're starting to talk to somebody, well, not starting, but when you get to like day 16 or 17, that's that great lead in for 25 days and beyond. Look, we've gotten you this far, so I want to now recommend a couple of things that I feel will very strongly help you on days 25 and beyond. So what it's going to do then is it's going to get that person, if they're not already a distributor, to probably sign up as a distributor because they're going to want, they trust you, and they're going to want to try these other products and get a discount on it. So it opens up an opportunity for you to have a conversation and talk to them about different products other than what they're already using. Does that make sense? You always want to be able to entice them a little bit more to continue on a different product and then really hit home the opportunity for the membership discount. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Crave Check, it is a non-thermogenic appetite control. Most appetite controls have some sort of stimulant or something in them, okay? So promotes weight loss or weight management and adds the appetite control, but it is SR for a reason. It's sustained release. So I take mine at lunch and then adds that extra in the evening. I've been testing it for a while now. I'll not take it on purpose for 2 or 3 days. By the 3rd day, from about 4:30 till about 8 o'clock at night, I'm like, okay, I don't think I can eat any more vegetables, but I'm like pacing in front of the refrigerator, like, what am I gonna eat? I'm so hungry. I need the appetite control. It's the same thing with M&S. If I leave somewhere and I forget or don't take enough, by the 2nd day I'm off of the M&S, my appetite goes through the roof. I need the extra appetite control. People are like, oh, do I have to take the products forever? You don't have to, but the way you feel on them makes a huge difference. For me, it makes a difference between me and my 6'5" brother. He's kept 40 pounds off, but he does a 24-day challenge every 3 months and takes Spark and Catalyst consistently. We have very similar body types, except for he's still carrying an extra 30 pounds right here. That's a big difference, but I am consistent on my products. He's consistent with a 24-day challenge every quarter. It's okay. I'm gonna love him where he's at. His diabetes, anybody asks about diabetic, he's an insulin-dependent diabetic. He has taken this through the process with his endocrinologist. They have talked about how safe it is, how the prepackaged meals, even though it does have 6 grams of sugar in it, it's still low enough to where a diabetic who is watching and knows what they're doing, he can regulate his blood sugars and all the rest of that with his insulin. All this is, I'm just letting you know, an insulin-dependent diabetic, this is a great program for them. It sets them up for success. We're teaching them the right food, the right time, the right amount. It saves him about $80 a month just in insulin. Because when your body is eating the right things and you're doing better, well, you don't need as much insulin anymore because your body's not producing and you're not skyrocketing your glucose levels and stuff.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Under 18, I know the Spark, they can't specifically say go take it
Yes,
because they're under 18.
parent can.
If I talk to the parent, can I recommend a 24-day challenge for somebody that is under 18?
Case by case basis, I specifically start with weight, size, everything else. The average woman versus the average man. Like, if I've got a boy who, like, I was 13, 6'2", and weighed almost 200 pounds.
Mhm.
I could have done 20. I should have done 24 challenge when I
Okay.
was like 14, 15. But if it's somebody who, I mean,
I've got a mom, her sister, and the mom's daughter who are all looking at doing it. The daughter is 16. She's struggling with results.
I would focus on specifically talking to the mom and just
Mhm.
telling her, hey, this is going to be your choice.
Okay.
We have had people, JJ Higgins' son has lost 78 pounds and just turned 18.
Okay.
He didn't do that in the last few months. He's done that in the last year and a half.
Right.
Okay. He started the products when he was 16 years old. Needed to lose weight. Mom and dad both struggled with obesity and some of the other stuff. Great example, but again, consistent on the products and consistent with the plan.
Okay.
So, but it's going to be, I would specifically tell her, look, because she's under 18, this has got to be your choice, Mom. You've
I
got
already
to,
told her that.
perfect.
Okay.
But yes, do I talk to some people about it? Yeah, if I see a picture of that person and they tell me like height, weight, and all the rest of the stuff, or they're over 200 pounds and they're 5'2", you know, something along those lines, and that person really wants to lose weight, are they caffeine sensitive? Are they on any medications? I will ask those questions because we need to know that stuff.
Okay.
And then if they are on any of that stuff, hey, look, it's something that I would recommend you talk to the doctor about. Look, I think that there's a great chance that it's going to be a good opportunity for your daughter, but with that, we still want to maybe run it by your doctor or something.
Okay.
If there's no medications, there's no caffeine sensitive, she drinks a Monster or drinks 3 Mountain Dews a day or whatever. Hey, Mama, that's your choice, but everything you're telling me sounds like she could rock it out.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Sports performance. Guys, advocare.com/elite. That's all you need to know, sports performance products. I'm not even kidding. It's going to give you the breakdown of every single product.
What to use with what? Awesome.
It gives you the timeline. If you're an endurance athlete, take this and take it this times. If you're a strength athlete, take it here. If you're a combination athlete, which I would call my CrossFitter or something, you're going to take this. Perfect. Yeah. But even having Paul sitting down and be like, hey, babe, I can't tell you when I'm an expert on this stuff, but the reality is Debbie and Phil have been teaching me this, this, and this. What if you looked at this line? Would any of this stuff interest you at all to help you out with your workouts? We're not going to go
You
in.
got some money.
Absolutely. Because it's not cheap. But I've also been talking to him about coming and work out with me over at the church station.
So how do you, I guess that's my question is
Yeah.
these aren't cheap. And they are like, so I have somebody that comes in and says, I'm looking for a protein powder.
Yep.
And it's, okay, well, we've got this great product, but dollar for dollar, even with the 40% discount, it is way more expensive than what you're going to get it.
Depends. What are you stacking it against? Are you stacking it against a cheap single isolate whey protein? Because if I'm stacking it against a 5-pound bag of cheap junk protein and I bought it at ABC store,
Right.
what I'm saying is ours, we have 5 different proteins, 5 different delivery systems. And here's a question, or here's something you guys, I didn't know, didn't care. I thought the same thing. Our product is expensive. Guys, it is $80 for a tub of protein. That's not cheap. 40% off. It's not bad. Okay. It's still more expensive than some of the other stuff. But when I go look at some of the other ones, 50 grams of protein, whey isolate protein, that's it. That's what I'm getting in this big, huge bag that I just bought for $48. I can guarantee you by day 3, you don't want to stand behind me.
Right?
I'm not kidding you. When you get a cheap, chunky, like it's like looking at sand. Ours is like thin talcum powder. We have pre-digested protein, which means your body will absorb it and digest it right where it needs to go without the gassy, bloaty, nasty feelings. Okay? That's one of the benefits, and it's more expensive. Cold press process. I learned this. I had to ask a question from one of the people that she brought to a meeting. He was like, I won't take any protein. It's not cold press process. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. So I will have to find out. So I asked our buddy who works in the hospital who nerds out on this stuff. He then has a 3-day email conversation back and forth with our doctors talking about product and percentages. And I'm just like, again, you lost me, bro. What is it? He's like, oh yeah, we're cold press process. We're one of the only companies that does it. I'm like, oh, okay, great. With the 5 different proteins, we have quick delivery for pre or post workout because your body was going to absorb. So we're going to put it where it needs to go right away. Then we've got medium, slower, and really slow delivery. So within that whole hour, either pre or post workout, our system is continuing to get protein throughout. Most people have whey isolate, quick delivery, quick dump. Whatever you don't use, you will smell or see later. I'm being honest. And that's where it's not apples to apples comparison. When I have somebody bring in, or they'll pull out a tub and be like, oh dude, I got this for $14. How are your gains?
Right.
Well, what do you mean? Are you putting on an average of 3 to 5 pounds of muscle every 1 to 2 months, just taking your protein and working out? Well, no, I've been in a plateau for the last 3 months. John, my friend John, he has an intestinal disorder and has a hard time gaining weight. The only 2 products that he took for the first 6 months, the only 2, Mass Impact, muscle gain. If you come to my garage, I have probably 4 or 5 empty totes. If you guys need muscle gain containers, I got them. Because of John. Now, in that 6 months, he had to up his tuxedo size twice. Kept his 8-pack the whole time, and his chest grew almost 4 inches. Didn't change his workout, didn't change his diet. He only changed those 2 products. For me, I'll stack that muscle gain up against any other protein that's out there on the market because of those different things. Now, most people, they're going to see $80, they're still going to walk away. I get that. This product line, I sell to people that are typically already distributors or discount customers going forward. This is not very often a product or a product line that I sell full retail people. But the Mass Impact alone, 2 grams of leucine, which is a branched chain amino acid. I had no idea how expensive leucine is by itself. To get a pure branched chain leucine, which means it's not made from broken down human hair and duck feathers. That's the cheap way to make branched chain amino acids. There's another way that they process it and make it, and it doesn't include that, which is good. I don't want to eat hair. But 2 grams of leucine is worth more than what the Mass Impact is by itself. So we work with multi-delivery systems. I just told you about the muscle gain in more detail than probably any of you ever care about, right? But that's what all of our products are for. They're for the mass uses, not for single use. This is not just creatine. It's creatine with the leucine, with these other branched chains and other things in them to make sure that our system will use the right way. And again, we have water-soluble products, so our body and muscles won't store the extra. We won't have problems, and it'll get rid of things.
And don't let women shy away from this line because,
please don't.
he's saying
Yes.
like bulking. First of all, women do not have the amount of testosterone in their body. We will not get a 4-inch chest from it. Okay, where
Yeah.
the men want it, we will. Unfortunately, we won't. Okay. I'm perfect example of that. I'm not bulking up anytime soon there. But the fact of the matter is, a woman, it could take a year just for a woman to gain 6 pounds of lean muscle. And so it happens very gradually, but what's happening is we're protecting the muscle and we're building the muscle. As we're losing fat and we're losing weight, we are not going to get bulky. We're going to get strong. It's going to have that. Women like to stay lean and toned. That's what they always say. I want to be lean and toned. No, you want to build muscle. That's what you're doing by being lean and toned. You're building muscle. So don't let women shy away from any of this because our bodies are going to respond much differently. It's going to be a body composition change more so. But honestly, I know a lot of men that take it that aren't into getting bulky and they want to stay lean. It's just having your people talk to me so that I can talk to them and get them on a regimen to help them specifically.
Well-
It takes muscle gain every day.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Well,
And I'm not.
Oh yeah.
but the other thing is,
To make ice cream? Not yet.
I've never added rehydrate to
But
my
I
muscle
did,
gain
I
yet.
added
But
it this morning and drank it. It was so delicious.
Really? Okay.
really, okay.
Oh, wow.
Hey, I'll try it.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll talk about
I
it.
watched that video and I was like, well, you take and you scoop, and I'm like, one day, I'd like to just be in a house, silent on the wall, one day, and just see, it's got to be so entertaining. They'll be in the middle of like, squirrel, go over and play the piano, and then come back and do something else, and she's like, focus, Chuck. Sorry if you watch this, Chuck and Linda, we love you. So as people are asking me different things, this is one that is the number one number one selling workout product we have. Did anybody in this room really take it?
Sometimes not much.
Yeah. The only time I really take that consistently is when I'm doing my CrossFit workouts and stuff. But that's a little bit of creatine. If you think about this, we're thinking about mass impact, arginine extreme, and spark combined in one. But if you already have those products and you've already bought them kind of in bulk, just mix them up. Now, there's a little bit more in there, but you guys can go online this week and you can watch Dr. Kramer's double-blind research study on muscle fuel and how and why it works. Again, someone behind our products doing the research, not just saying, hey, it's a cool new fad, proving the consistency, the recovery, and why that product works. Okay? You guys will get to know more. I'm sure you guys will have more questions about sports performance products, other things. If I have a runner, we tend to shy away from the creatine. Creatine will pull water, shed water, and pull it to your muscles. You get kind of the bigger look, adds more girth to your muscles. People that are training in bodybuilding, they're really wanting to add some more muscle. Even some of the ladies like Elise Mueller. So always talking about how she just can't add muscle. That's a product that she does take. She wants to add muscle. I mean, what is she, 100 pounds,
Right.
soaking wet?
Right.
But even her body consistency has changed over the last 5 years. She definitely has more definition. She definitely, it's just something that is still working. But it's like she said, there's not enough testosterone in her body to bulk. But she has muscle definition now.
I put women towards the arginine extreme
Yep.
if they're going to do like a pre-workout, and that's actually one that I just am adding back into my regimen because I felt like my workout, I wasn't getting everything I needed from my workouts with just Spark and Catalyst. So
Yeah.
I'm plugging that back in, and it's amazing how quickly you'll see a change in your workouts.
Yeah.
Starting doing pre-long runs. Your husband needs it.
He does his own runs on Sundays.
What
But
else?
yes, the
Yeah.
arginine extreme, is that what you, or the O2 gold?
Both.
Arginine and O2 are my pre-run. I stack those. I'll do the O2 Gold with just a little bit of rehydrated water, and then the arginine and Spark about a half hour before I run. Those are, and we talk about it, we'll joke about it, but I'm just not. I'm not a runner. It's always hard for me. It always hurts my body, but I see results. So I'm a runner, whether I fully enjoy it. But I mean, we've had some great conversations while running. Actually, I could breathe. Okay, so fortunes in the follow. Well, okay, so fortunes in the follow-up, guys. You know, to be able to focus on this sheet, this is on that advocare.com/24-day challenge. This is one of the forums, coaching checklist. Everybody I talk to, because the sheet or the booklet that AdvoCare sends, because it says optional on Catalyst, on meal replacement shakes, if they didn't buy 2 boxes of shakes and they didn't buy 2 bottles of Omega, I tell them to open their AdvoCare box, check out the Cleanse, the Fiber, the Spark, the Omegas, package the box, back up, and put it in the bottom of the pantry. Almost all the time. If I don't do that, I catch them on day 3 and I forgot to coach them the right way. They've already taken 1 or 2 shakes. They've already taken Catalyst. They see optional and they just think, oh, okay, well, I bought that. Those are with my stuff. Therefore, then I'm taking it because it was optional. If they don't have 2 boxes, they're not going to make it through the full 24-day challenge. They don't have 2 bottles of Catalyst. If they're taking it twice a day, they're not going to make it through the challenge. Okay? So we have to be specific. And that's why we want to do the pre-coaching. I almost always check in my people on a Sunday night. I have them start on a Monday. The husbands who can't not drink over more than 2 weekends, or the wives that have kids like mine are like, I'm gonna have wine somewhere. So okay, for 10 days. You know, I'd like you to do the full 24, but for 10 days. Okay, so we do the coaching, and I kind of walk them through and then answer any questions I have. But I make sure that in front of them, the form, the grid sheet that we talked about last week. Everybody have that? Know what I'm talking about? Amy's giving me a face of no. So I scanned, and sorry it came in backwards, but I figured you printed it.
Do you have a printer yet?
Walking down the mountain.
No, that's better.
Yeah, some of them started to kick sideways. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about right here. So these, okay, do you have those or know what those are?
Yeah, she said it's in the email.
Yeah, so most
Having
of
prayer
these,
issues at the Myers home.
most of these came through good, and then when you got to this part here, they started to kick a little bit. These, what I'm talking about, and this was some of the stuff you and I are going to talk about Monday, this is your warm market list. Some of the words through Charlie, I'll print you guys off one and I can send it to you or whatever you need. But this was some of the notes. These are the things, and these were pretty good. I went through and I double checked to make sure these weren't messed up. But if you're like, I don't have anybody to talk to, if you go through this, what is it, 5, you go through 4 sheets, it gives you over 120 different names to fill out. You still have nobody to talk to? Okay. That one, that's impressive. But 2, that to revisit our purpose, because every time I revisit my purpose, as soon as I think about why I'm doing this, the debt freedom, bringing my wife home, having my kids be able to want the opportunities with sports and colleges and other stuff, we can just never afford to do it. Not kids. They're good at something, they're passionate about something, they will be able to do it. There's a reason why Danny McDaniel's 2 oldest sons are playing college football, and one of them just had a shot at the pros, chose Family Life and Advocare instead. They had private coaching whenever they wanted it. Daniels, his oldest, last couple of years. So my dad never forced us to do anything. We had specific set goals, measurable goals. When I graduated college or graduated high school, I had a full-ride scholarship. I got a truck. It wasn't a brand new truck, but that was my goal. I finished with a specific GPA. My dad could go buy anything brand new anytime he wanted to. I had to work for everything I had. He's like, even when I got a scholarship, it was a gift that I earned from a school. My dad then sponsored a scholarship at another school. Like, my parents give back, but they also want us to earn and work for it. But if we were passionate about it, you can guarantee they were there, they were helping. You almost will never see Danny and Diane at the same success school, the same meetings. They'll be with one of the kids. Now they have a new grandkid. They've always been divided, helping, family, somewhere. Like, that's the way they do it. And I really like that example for me and my family. It helps me feel a lot better when it's like, well, no, I'm in this meeting tonight, Rebecca's at home, or vice versa. Okay, so sorry, total tangent. 24-day challenge, coaching them with that sheet. I make sure, do you have the document in front of you? Okay, make a couple notes. Or I'll have them take a magic marker and write 3 in the AM and 3 in the PM on top of the catalysts. You know, if you're a female, I want 4 Omegaplex in the evening. If you're over 220 pounds, I want you to take 6 Omegaplex in the evening. Okay, people are like, 6. Remember, good fat in, bad fat out, get rid of inflammation in the joints and the rest of your body. Okay, all right, I get it. For me, I take extra omegas all the time. It's a natural blood thinner and helps out in making sure that I always stay off my hereditary issue of high blood pressure. Okay, I'm not telling you we're going to cure your blood pressure. Medical disclaimer, we don't do that. But I know my body well enough and had a couple conversations with a few of our doctors. We were able to answer some questions for me and really help point me out in the right direction. Okay, check-in day 1. How was your day? That was great. Now walk me through how you took your food, when you took your food, and how you did today. Oh, okay. I do not correct them or stop them. Write notes. Then at the end, hey, can I make some suggestions? Versus, hey, you screwed this up. I get enough people in their life telling them how bad they did on stuff. Hey, can I make a couple suggestions? Can we switch out the banana? Unless you're having the banana for a pre-workout, you know, if you're doing workout today at all, I'm going to cut out the banana, and we're going to go with a higher citrus fruit instead. Keep the metabolism moving, the lower glycemic fruits. Is that the right word?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Checking on day 3. How are you feeling today? This is typically my constipation day with ladies. I thought I'd be having conversations like that, but hey, are you using the restroom? Yeah, using the restroom just fine. Okay, let's say this a different way. Because if I ask you that, most people are like, yeah, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm peeing a lot because I'm drinking a lot of water. That's not what I'm talking about. If it's not coming out, it's not coming on. So are you using the restroom? Oh, well, 8 out of 10 women clinically suffer from severe constipation and are not regular every day. That's a conversation we want to have. Always have extra probiotic restore ultra on hand. They're not using the restroom and they are close. Immediately, I'm getting them extra. Take your probiotic for tomorrow morning, take it tonight. And just kind of shift it this way. Even if I'm checking out on day 3, I've got plenty of time to drop a few extra probiotic in the mail and send it to them. Okay? That's why. Most guys, I've used the restroom in 2 days, but then they call me the next day. Down 7 pounds. That's not the case for ladies. Okay? So
Lots of water, lots and lots of water.
So write it down. Your body weight divided by 2 is how many ounces at a minimum we want you drinking. If there's caffeine in it at all, it doesn't count as water. So your Spark doesn't count in the morning. That's your water. No, there's no caffeine. Or yes, it does because there's no caffeine. Count whatever you want, but that was just the rule of thumb from the docs. They said the caffeine, because it's a diuretic.
Yeah.
They're like you're getting the good benefits from it, but you're also going to get rid of the excess water that's going through with it. I have one that I have to ask one of the docs the next time we see him. I have a lady right now. She's down 4 pounds. She's on day like 17. All day long, she has apple cider vinegar in her water.
All day long.
All day long.
Sounds awful.
I'm like, I've heard of
You really only need 1 to 2 tablespoons a day for it to actually help your system.
That's what I was like. I've never heard than more than a couple tablespoons in a day, and you're good, all the good effects and everything else. But I was like, because I'm like, because we couldn't figure out. You've only lost 4 pounds, like you're doing all the rest of this stuff. But the only thing I'm like,
I don't even know why someone would want to do that.
I'm like, you like the taste of that? She's like, I love it. And I'm like, I got nothing. I don't know. Anyway, but I mean, that was just another conversation as we're following up. She's feeling better. Her energy's down, or her energy's up. She is using the restroom. So I mean, that's just one of those, like, I don't know. But she also, we're having issues with measurements. But she still loves the product. She still just signed up as a discount customer and stuff. She loves the Spark, loves the Catalyst, and loves the Thermal Plus. So it's not, everybody's not going to knock it out of the park. She's also almost 50 now. Okay. She's a swing shift nurse. So we don't have consistent sleep, stress, because she works in the ER as a swing shift nurse. And, so I'm like, look, if your stress is high and you're not sleeping a lot, honestly, I'll take the 4 pounds as a win right now.
Right.
So, and I'm like, well, how consistent are you eating? Well, some shifts I eat once in 10 hours. Well, we're not consistently eating every 2 to 3 hours either. I know it's hard, but grab some of the bars, grab one of the shakes. You're on day 17 now. Let's take some with you, shake it and go. Slam it at the nurses say, oh, I just can't drink stuff that fast. Slam half of it and go back, and then the next time you come by, drink the other half. I just trying to come up with suggestions and things to be able to help. I call day 17. It's not on here, but I call, say, day 17, day 18. That's our reorder day. That gives us 5 to 6 business days, or 5 to 6 calendar days to get product to their house. And if they have not done the discount membership, it says right on here, 3-way phone call. It's a good opportunity to be like, look, we're having good results. We're keeping track of this stuff. Because again, we want the measurements, that front sheet that I put on there, especially with the ladies. We want to focus on that. Okay, we're having all the results. We want to move them to a happy customer, now become a discount customer, okay? And the reason is, if you have 88% retention with a discount customer versus a retail customer, guys, you want them to stick around. And now, not too many people, I don't see too many people letting their memberships lapse anymore with the 2 boxes of Spark now. Okay? Okay. So we kind of covered that a little bit at the very beginning. Unpack your purpose. Part of the reason I posted that video yesterday on your why, I really, did anybody watch that video I posted yesterday? No?
No, because you said you're going to watch it
Yeah.
tonight.
I tried doing the video on here last night, and for some reason I can't get the sound to play through to be able to then go into the recording. So watch that if you can. It's only 2 minutes. For me, I was getting goosebumps, and it made me like, oh, heck yeah. I don't post too many things, but I posted that to our Facebook and Chuck and Lynn's Facebook. That's just one of those that it really should be able to help you sit down and think about your why. So your purpose is, for me, your why. Your why is the reason why you continue to get up and say, oh, I got 4 no's yesterday. This sucks. Well, you know what? I want A, B, and C. We need to pay off debt. We need more time together as a family. I'm sick of my spouse being home working all the time. I got a teenager that'll sit and cry at the door when mommy leaves. It's pissing me off. Mommy needs to be home. The Marine daddy was not made to be Mr. Mom all the time. We do it for a season, but mommy's better at being mommy than daddy is. And my kids want her home, and we want that as a family. So hopefully that kind of helps. I told you we try to cut through stuff. Last week will be a little bit longer. These weeks going forward. Let me double check through these forms that I emailed you guys.
That says send a picture to your mentor. What picture do you want?
We just wanted to make sure that you did your homework, your
okay.
list. I mean, you could
No,
see
no, no,
us.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So, do that
Just send
and
it.
send a picture of the previous items. Got it.
Yeah. So each week we want you to try to do it by Wednesday if you can. And watch the videos and try to send us your homework by Wednesday. Now you're not going to have your five new people in the system. That is coming into class and being able to see that you guys have your 5 new people. But if you're out of town, so if you're online watching this or doing whatever, you guys need to be shooting us a list or a a list of your people who have you gotten into the success system. I know that you have been crushing it. You and I have done a few things, and you took some people to check Melinda's. But make sure that those points, it's getting people to events, 3-way phone calls, or then being able to take some of these webinars. Those count, but it can't be more than half of your points. Okay? So if they're only watching webinars, those are to then have the follow-up conversation to get them to something, to get them on the phone. Okay? So use them sparingly, because that's going to be a very hard duplicatable system. The idea is we want the personal connection and the relationships to build in order for them to want to stay in. Products are going to work, but they buy you before they buy the products. They trust you enough to get on the phone or get to the meeting, okay? So fitness assessment, the shopping guide, and then the homework things. Guys, if you're going to a mixer or a big group meeting, print these out and have them in your bag with you when you go. Okay, you want to give these to your person after the meeting. Hey, look, just wanted to give you one of these. If 80% or 85% of my customers start out with 24-day challenge, I want them to at least have a place to start. And I've had people right on the spot fill out the bottom information. Hey, look, I don't have time to order it, but and you're like, hey, I can take care of that for you. Well, it's got all their information right here on it. Okay. I have one
He
guy.
really does. That's how he signed me up as a distributor at a Starbucks where he met. I just filled out my information, and he just took it and signed me up as a distributor. So
Now, there used to be one with the credit card number, but I still have people write their credit card number right on the bottom of that. And I tell them, I'll be very discreet with this. As soon as I'm done entering your information, I will rip the bottom off and put it in the shredder or burn it in the fireplace. Your information's not going anywhere, but I want to make sure that we get you signed up, get the product to you as soon as possible, and then we can get you coaching. Okay, so your purpose and your why. This is your faith, fitness, finances, and family sheet right here. Have you guys started working on this one at all, or have you guys had a chance to look at this one? This one is part of the homework this week. I'm adding this one in. This is the purpose. You need it. You need a specific time. You need it measurable. I don't want you to put 6 years out there unless there's, hey, I'm building a house in the next 5 years. You know what I mean? We'd like short term and a little bit long term, like 1 to 2 years. Because our goal is an advocate. If you do 2 to 4 hours a week for 2 years, Charlie says 2 to 4 hours a week, 4 to 6 hours a week, depending on how you are and how you get people plugged into the success system. 2 years, we're going to have you at that Ruby level, consistently working. Not working 4 hours one day, being off for 2 weeks. Remember, we talked about that last week, okay? So I want to put this out there. If faith isn't big for you like it is for me, write something else. Write a spiritual goal. Write an emotional goal. You know, hey, I want to, I don't want to have so many ups and downs emotional. I want to be more steady through life, through our Advocare business, whatever it is, okay? Physical health. None of us are exactly where we want to be physically. I mean, I've sat with 2 bodybuilders this last week, and even they're like, well, I want to cut my body fat 0.2%. I'm like, all right, we're not on the same goal. Obviously, it says 2015, but you guys write whatever you want. But finances, it's huge. We've talked about debt. We've talked about credit cards, student loans, house debt, whatever it is. Our mentor, Yoda, Ron Reynolds, there is no freedom like debt freedom. The ultimate freedom for having never owing any man any money. That's my goal. Before I'm 40, including our mortgage, it is gone. I can't imagine that. Okay, so I shouldn't say that. I couldn't imagine that 5 years ago. Now, I know it's very attainable by the time I'm 40. Just staying on the consistent path we are. That's if our business doesn't change at all. Doesn't go down, doesn't go up. It stays right where it's at. We have that goal in sight by the time I'm 40. I'm 35, just turned 35. Why are you laughing? I'm older or younger than you thought?
Older.
I'll take that. Okay, we already started on your list, but this one here, you all right?
Yeah.
Okay, big exhale in my house if my wife needs something happen. Sorry. The list of what I want. The list of what I want starts with the list of what I need to give up or willing to give up. Because the list of what I need to give up and I'm willing to typically are different. For me, I'm willing to give up a lot of things. I'm willing to give up, like right now, my kids are at basketball with grandma. They were last week, they are this week, and they will be next week. Okay, I'm giving up a little bit of time with them because I know in 2 or 3 years, I'm occasionally going to run some Saturday trainings and do some other things. We'll be helping you guys build your business even more stable to whatever level you want it to be. But the goal is we live life for a couple of years, like most people won't, giving up a few things here or there, because then later on, we'll be able to live life like nobody else can. I love that saying from Dave Ramsey and whoever said it before him. I know he stole it somewhere. But I want these things in my life in order to get that. Okay, I don't want this in my life. Okay.
I gave up TV, and it's amazing how much time I have to do my Advocare business. It's absolute. That's all I had to really give up to honestly to get really intentional back in October. I gave up TV.
Yep.
And that's all it took for me to be intentional enough, because you know what, when you got 2 hours a day, you'd be surprised.
Yep.
You're just kind of sitting there vegging, whatever.
Well, and the way I did this, the way I started with, because mine was TV, it was, well, I'm going to watch American Idol with my wife because her love language is quality time, and this is what, you know, our quality time looks like, us laying into each other on the couch. I'm like, how quality is this right now? Like, really? But that was the only time that we got to spend together. Okay. But one of the things that Greg Smith, one of my buddies, he said to do, you're not really sure what to give up. For 3 days, track your day. Just write it down in your journal. You guys all have the journals. Just write it down. I spent an hour and 45 minutes on Facebook today, and I have no idea how I was even on it that long. And you know, some of the phones even have app trackers for the day. It'll tell you how long you're on what, which can be kind of scary. But it's the same thing. Oh my gosh, I watched 4 TV shows today. It was just on in the background, but how much more productive on it am I personally? And Becca busted my chops about 3 months ago. I'm the guy who does laundry in the house, okay? So I'm doing all the laundry and folding all the clothes, putting everything away, but I was turning on a TV show. When I do it without the TV on, I'm done in about 45 minutes. When I do it with the TV on, I typically go through about 3 45-minute TV shows on Hulu. I'm like, that's pathetic. How much? Oh my goodness. What if I am more consistent and like focus on the things that I can be more productive at? I get the laundry done while the baby's taking one of his short naps because he really doesn't nap. Like, I can get that done. You know what I mean? So track what you're doing for a few days. Track it for one. It may just impress you on what you do or don't get done in one day and how much more productive you could be. I've really had to focus on that this last year. Where are we wasting our time? Because my wife's working 1 day 1 week and 2 days or 3 days the next week. So she's averaging 2 days a week right now. I travel maybe 1 day a week, and the rest of the time it's whatever appointments I have scheduled or mixers or meetings or whatever. How much more productive can we be if I schedule my time out better?
Another thing is multitasking. My kids do their homework for about 30 minutes after school, and they know when they're doing homework time, I'm typically working.
Yep.
You know, I'm on my computer. They're sitting at the table doing their homework. It's not like I'm missing any quality time with them. They're busy. They're working, so I'm taking that same time, and that's what I tell them. Okay, we're all working now. You know what I mean? And then whenever that's done, we get to hang out, or they usually leave me and go to the neighbor's house to play. I'll be honest. So I'm still working because they're at an age where they don't want to hang out, play.
Just
Anyway.
wait for the next blizzard, and then they have to play.
Anyway.
Okay, so plan of action. The one that kind of looks like this pay period plan of action. So it's the next depending event. So I told you guys, Chuck and Lynn are trying to make sure they're consistent every Thursday now for us. You know, we had been doing them for a little while at our house. We had been doing them for years with Matt and Tony and other people. And the reality is we have a lot of business people that are outside of Ohio, and we have a few that are in Ohio. Debbie's got her team. You guys are starting to do stuff, but we want to make sure that's a pretty central location from you coming from Hilliard and other places. Okay, so we want to make sure that's available. If their place doesn't work, you guys need to communicate with that and let us know, and then we'll start picking up and doing something else, okay? But we're trying to make sure at least once out of every 30 days, we've got a large group event or something planned like we're doing on the 8th, and then we have a weekly mixer somewhere here locally that you can go to. If you're like, hey, I need to go to Cincinnati, or I need to go to Cleveland, or I need to whatever it is, let us know so we can get it on the calendar. It's first come, first served on my calendar. Like Monday, she was texting me about something. I can't. I already have one meeting on the books, and my wife's doing a continuing education class for work. So as soon as my meeting's over, I'm right back home playing Mr. Mom, okay? So it's first come, first served for our calendars. But our calendars, you guys are here, you get first dibs for our calendars. You're doing the homework, you're doing Silver Boot Camp, you're getting our best, okay? I shouldn't speak for both of us, but.
No, it's very true.
Okay, so with this, I want you to kind of look through the pay period plan of action and the 24-day business challenge, and we will talk about those next week, okay? 24-day business challenge is challenging. It's got specific numbers, specific people to talk to and other stuff, but I figured it flowed right along into what Silver Boot Camp was and what we're trying to do. We're not just trying to do this in Silver Boot Camp, we're trying to teach a consistent pattern that then we can grow into a consistent business after you guys leave here, okay? Cool, all right. Last time we had about 5-10 minutes of questions answered afterwards. Are there any questions this week? What can I cover? What can we go over? I want to make sure that we,
So he's going to follow up with another email with all the slides from today,
Yep.
and then the, and is there anything in there?
this was all, I scanned all this in last week, so
it's all in there.
yep, everything, even though it was upside down, once you can print it off, you'll get it all. So, FedEx, Kinko's, if you guys ever go to copy there, all you do is tell them to look up the corporate AdvoCare account in Plano, Texas, and they will give you your discount off of all copies. You don't get discount off of shipping, but any copies, anything you get, it's like, I think it's a discount, like 50 cents a copy or something. So, I mean, especially if you're doing, like, I learned up front, I did like black, I did everything black because I was just cheap at the beginning, and then Deborah Pfister came over to my house and wadded up black and threw it at me. She's like, this looks horrible. Like, do the color. There's a reason why we put it out corporately for color, because we want your people to visually be enticed too. We want it to look good when you're presenting it to someone else. She's like, so if this is what you're giving to other people, if you're giving them the order form that is black and white, stop, print it in color. I'm like, oh yeah. And that was how I knew, all you gotta do, I'm an AdvoCare. They'll ask, oh, which account? There is an account, Plano, Texas, and you're able to print off copies and stuff using the discount, okay? And that's any state, anywhere. As long as there's a FedEx Kinko's, you can use that. Other questions? Nothing? All the homework, everything, no questions?
I have a really random product question.
Well, whatever, shoot.
Cherry Spark,
Still don't know yet.
but it's not on any of the advertisements either.
Well, that's the old magazine, so. There's a new magazine every 6 months.
Right. Okay, so Cherry last year.
They got rid of Cherry right before that magazine came out
Oh,
in
okay.
August.
Okay.
So that magazine was August to basically December, January.
Okay.
It's not on there either. Okay. I know that they had talked about, so there's a couple products that they have gotten rid of. Obviously the skincare line, you guys know that. And I like the way they presented it in leadership. It was, raise your hand if you're in here in leadership, raise your hand if you've got a star leg off of it. Not one person raised their hand. I liked it. I used it. But if it's not our best, if it's not the best on the market, we want to focus on our areas of strength. And that's what our new CEO is like, no, we focus on what we are amazing at. Let's be honest. Skincare may not be it. If nobody else is getting star legs off of it, I mean, my wife would sell it occasionally with some clients and some other stuff, but that's about it. They said the product development and new stuff that should be coming out at the new Success School should blow our minds. I don't know if that just means new flavors or whatever. The seasonal flavors we were told are sticking around. So you're going to have the lemon ice cake, the mint chocolate brownie shake, all of those different things. The vegetarian shake, though, I don't know if they're reformulating it, but it's out of stock for long term right now. So I've got some people that have sensitive stomach and needed the dairy free, so that one, but we've sent Patrick Wright emails. He's the guy who's had a production and stuff on the different flavors and all that stuff. I've also sent him ideas like cookies and cream protein shake. No, I mean, some variation of flavors. There are people that will go buy other companies because they have different variations. He's like, well, we're really trying to focus on the breakfast shakes and meal replacement shakes. We've got some of those different variations now, especially with the holidays. But that's the other reason that those flavors don't stick around for long. It's built-in sales for you guys. Hey, we got a new release. It's only going to be around until product, till it lasts. It allows us to reach out to new people. Hey, you remember this shake last year? I knew you ordered like 4 boxes, and then hit me up for 2 months afterwards after it was sold out.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had a lady from North Carolina on her team. Like, I don't care what the shipping is. If you can find anywhere of the lemon ice cake, will you please send it to us? We sent her 3 boxes.
Mailboxes.
Always buy extra because you have no problem getting rid of anything that's limited edition.
I always buy 1 or 2 extra boxes of any of these flavors. If Becca's like, hey, I want the pumpkin, she wants 2 boxes, I buy 4. And we always sell. And somebody will reach out later, and then that's what we'll throw it out on the team page. Hey, does anybody have any of these extras? And then you can still sell. Okay. Product questions, homework questions, videos that you watch questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I ran into a situation yesterday where one of my coworkers said that he and his buddy they're gonna do Catalyst 30 days.
Okay.
Okay, great. Do you know a distributor? No, I bought it on Amazon.
Okay. So number one, as soon as we find out anybody's buying on Amazon, almost every single time that I found anybody, I've asked them, hey, show me the product. It's almost always expired. There's a reason they're selling on Amazon. Somebody bought an advisor order, it's past their expiration date, and now they need to get rid of it. Because most of the time you'll go on and you're like, I can't even buy it for that price. Are you kidding me? They're just trying to get something back. It's also not protected by the satisfaction guarantee. And if it's past the expiration date and it's not covered, I don't want somebody to put that in their system. I've had 2 people in the last few months, and they told me they're looking at it. One of our newest distributors, actually, he'd been probably buying products on Amazon for a few months, loves the product. I'm like, why don't I just get you a discount membership? He's like, I'm not sure I'm interested in the Spark. I'll buy the Spark back from you. I mean, my uncle, he doesn't want to do the Spark at all. He's off of caffeine completely. His fiance is caffeine sensitive, so they're buying a discount membership. His son's taking a bunch of sports performance products, taking and soccer and all the rest of stuff, so buy it back. I mean, I'd love to have a conversation with them. If the only thing is they're trying to save money, I mean, you can offer them
What he paid for it and what I would sell it to them for is $5 difference.
Yeah. And again, the only thing I can ever talk about when it comes to that, number one, our legal team, we have someone dedicated to finding all sales on Amazon and eBay. They're against your contract, and if they terminated 800 800 distributorships last year. Are you kidding me? I'm not giving up my distributorship for anything.
Right.
So,
Well, I told them, I was like, you know what? I was like, if you like it, next time, come to me, because
let's
you're not protected on Amazon. Let's say you take it and you don't like it, Amazon isn't going to give you your money back
Right.
with an empty bottle.
right. Well, but I specifically focus on anybody's buying it there. I focus on it's probably expired. There's only a couple reasons why they sell it there. Because the other side is they can't even buy it for that. So why is it that discounted? So I would definitely question the safety, and then being able to return it. That's a big deal. But I do a Catalyst and a Spark Challenge. Our friend Sean Haynes only started with Spark and Catalyst. That's it. Changed his pop, went to Spark, and did Catalyst and lost 14 pounds in that 14 days. Okay. So it's a great challenge to do something like that. But I definitely would focus on that. The other thing is, almost any company, Amazon has a 30-day return policy. Tell them to return it. Free shipping all the way back, send it back, and hey, look, I'll hook you up. I'll give you one time. I'll give you a discount. That's the only time I do things like that. I'll give you the discount one time. We need to get you a discount membership. If these products really work the way you want them to, we need to get you the discount membership, because I know that I could set you up for success, but you got to let me help coach you. Your product and your time is worth money, though, so that's hard. I don't like giving a discount away to anybody ever. When I do it, honestly, I'll do it with some of my Marine Corps buddies who I know are financially strapped and some of this other stuff. I will give you my discount one time on the 24-day challenge, which you will then jump on and you will buy a discount membership. And then they continue to buy products, enjoy Spark and some other stuff later. But that's it. Up front, it's a one-time thing. Because this still is your business. You can do it. Corporate frowns upon us doing it, especially on Facebook. We don't want, because we had to buy our membership. If everybody just gives it away, one, we're not making money. You know,
You're not showing the value of the product if you're going to do that, quite honestly.
absolutely.
And if you have somebody that's looking at doing it, and I'm by no means an expert, but I have somebody who was severely financially strapped, and she just couldn't do it. We had a meeting with Phil, and literally she's like, I can't do it right now. I don't even have the $80 until I get my commission check from this random thing that she was doing. And literally I had a conversation with Phil about, should I pay for it for her? And he said, if she does not have that $80 right now, she has to make that investment, and she has to make it worth her time. She has to be able to put that out there, that this is something that she wants to do. And I think that's, I don't know, to me, that's really important.
If you don't put anything in, what do you have to lose?
Right.
You know, we've bought distributorships for people before because we're like, oh, they're family, and we're just gonna, and then it's like, man, well, I mean, I can walk away from it, it's not a big deal. You're like, but I thought that if I bought it for you, maybe you would see, and it just doesn't work that way. If they don't have anything to put in, you know, but it doesn't sound like that's the case here. He just, hey, I found it cheaper.
Right.
That's great, but it's cheap for a reason.
Right.
We pretty much guarantee that. So, yeah, it sounds like you're doing the right thing. It just, I talk about safety and I talk about it. So, any other questions? Okay.
I do have one question.
Yes.
Spark is safe when you're breastfeeding?
Yes. So typically most OBGYNs will say less than 300 milligrams of caffeine. Some will say less than 2. Okay. My wife's was less than 3. She didn't really care. She's a little bit more lax than some. Others we've talked to, no, I'm less than 200 milligrams of caffeine. Okay.
That explains
Becca, she would typically she did one every morning, period. But then the afternoons, they just be case by case. You're going to be a little more tired anyway. You're making a human.
Right.
But through breastfeeding and stuff, the caffeine actually, we have one of our friends who's head of research over at Children's Hospital. She researches nutrition and all the rest of the stuff. I love how it kind of leads to different things and questions. She said caffeine does not process into the breast milk. I'm like, oh. She's like, but because there's no long-term studies on babies, we can't guarantee everything, but we can we know this and studies and process and milk and testing, and it's like, oh, okay. But so we still set the number. So I have some ladies, they'll do half Spark in the morning, half in the afternoon, or half rehydrate, half Spark. So Still add a little bit more flavor, get a little bit of electrolytes, which is good for her and the baby. The baby will get the electrolytes, those type of things. So, but yes, if they're able to have a Coke or two a day, or I have one lady who's like, oh yeah, I drank Mountain Dew the whole time. And I'm like, okay. Anyway, yeah, but yes, still case by case, and you still want to say, hey, find out if your OBGYN has recommendations on caffeine. Most of them it's under 300, but you'll have some that are stricter and it's 200. And occasionally I have one of the natural ones like, no caffeine at all.
Right.
And you're a zombie.
I'm gonna come watch my child.
Yeah.
No, great question. Okay, so silver. Can it be done through 5 advisors?
Yes.
Okay,
One is, 3,000 children, right?
correct.
Okay.
Okay, can it be done through 1 advisor underneath you?
I'm confused about that.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, no, but that's, I
Okay,
want to
we'll
make
find
sure.
out. Okay.
Let's see. You got any questions or anything? Just going over the homework this last week. Yeah, really try to utilize this next 2 weeks, and the pay period ends this next Tuesday. So this weekend, focus on calling anybody who bought an all-in challenge. Anybody who did that at all, whether retail or not. And remember, if they're retail, all they have to do is call corporate. Now that they've become a customer, so they bought retail and now became a discount customer, they just call corporate and just say, hey, I was a retail customer last pay period. All they have to do is then spend $100 retail and they get free shipping. It saves you, on the $250, it saves you like $19. As soon as I started adding in all the sales aids, I had like $200 something in sales aids. I know the magazines, that saved me a lot. And even things like the OTG. I just bought some more of the OTG because my kids love it. And the price is still lower than it used to be. I mean, when I started in the summer, it was not cheap. It will be lower, but I get free shipping. Okay, cool. So take advantage. Find the different things or different areas, but have that conversation. If you got 1 or 2 people to call, reach out to them. Because that ends Tuesday, and anybody you know that's interested in the Success School. We've got last Success School, we rented a house right outside of the stadium. It was a mile from the stadium. I think it wound up costing us $60 a room, or $60 per person per night for the house. And there were 6 of us in the house, and it was 4 bedrooms, and then I slept on a couch. Couch on a couch. Different options, many different ways, especially if you're like, hey, we're traveling in a group, we're doing this, and this is a team environment. We're here to do this together. So,
Thanks,
all right.
Phil.
All right, y'all. Sure, nothing else? Okay. So homework this week, keep the phone calls going, reach out to your people, work your 5.
February 8th event.
Yep. Load that one up. Tell me what we're going to try to make fun. We're going to have some giveaways and some other stuff. I got another one of the pink bag for the ladies. We're going to give away some Spark, some shaker bottles and stuff. But we want this to be, we're trying to find different avenues and different ways to still do the Advocare mixer, but make it practical for everyone involved. We're going to have, the fitness moves. We're going to do, like me, I'm going to demonstrate, hey, when you're broke, you've got screws in your shoulder and you got this, this, and this, or even when I'm injured, all of my doctors are like, don't stop moving. When you stop moving, your arthritis will get worse, your injuries will get worse. The injuries and the people that we work with at the VA, the people I talk to, it's the ones who give up. They get worse and worse and worse. But keep moving, keep doing. So we're going to demonstrate, hey, if you're jacked up and hurt, this is how you do it. If you're diesel like Debbie, you're going to do this. I'm also going to try to have my brother-in-law there. Now I'm all getting teary-eyed just thinking about him. Depending on what happens with his son, they had a baby 2 days ago, and if you guys followed their story last year, but now the baby's, his stats and O2 and stuff are dropping, so he's in the NICU again. Anyway, he was going to be one of the guys demonstrating some of the full-on, full-range, slow-motion pull-ups, all that junk. I was going to have him there, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, if you guys are prayer people, I'll definitely be praying for the Jacob family. But that's it. We're trying to make sure, and I'm also trying to see if we have a strong enough internet signal. I'm going to try to see if Chuck, and it'll be from the back of the room like you're a participant, but so from the people out of town, we are going to try to live webcast / record, and then this next Thursday at Chuck and Linda's house, we're going to try to go live with that also. So we're trying to make sure that even if you don't have people here, we can still get them involved, okay?
Great.
Sound good?
Thank you.
All right. All right, y'all. Enjoy. Get the homework done.